Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
He said they had attempted to serve warrants for the arrest of all the people next door, but they were threatened with guns, with weapons by the people next door and threatened to kill them or something. So
we begin tonight with breaking news as an armed standoff continues in South Moorhead. Police and the SWAT team are negotiating with a wanted man who says he has a gun and he's willing to use it. It's happening at a home in the 1900 block of 6th Street South. Here's a map of the area. Police officers have gone door to door issuing a code red. They're evacuating neighbors or telling them to shelter in place. 6th Street is blocked off from 16th Avenue to 22nd Avenue South. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson joins us live with the very latest. Nicole, what do we know at this point?
I'm about a block away from where the house is happening and police are, but you can see behind me the SWAT negotiation team and other officers here who are armed. They've gone door to door knocking on houses and issued a code red alert for neighbors living in the area. They've asked them to leave and other people surrounding to stay inside of their homes. Now, I spoke with one woman who was outside at the time and she was hanging up Halloween decorations and they asked her to leave. Now, she says that the people where police have surrounded the house are directly behind her and they've caused issues before.
yeah, it's a little bit frightening,
Very frightening.
To know that what's been more frightening though is living next to this element. There have been a number of times when I've been concerned about what might be going on over there. And so I'm grateful to know that this is probably going to be the end of whatever is happening there.
Now, the man that police were trying to arrest has some sort of connection with the people inside of the home. There's multiple of them. Police are still trying to make negotiations with the people inside, but you're asked to avoid this area anywhere along 6th Street from 16th to 22nd Avenue in Moorhead. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Nicole. This situation is close to many schools. We spoke with at least one assistant superintendent who says that students who live in that area will be held on the bus and will not be dropped off. Also, Amy Kelly, the college communications director at Concordia, says text messages and emails were sent to students, faculty, and staff, alerting them to the situation. As always, stick with Valley News Live for updates on this breaking story. Clown sightings here and across the nation have some people taking extra precautions as kids head out trick-or-treating tonight. Just last night, 2 boys in Castleton admitted to dressing like clowns and chasing other kids. And in Florida, some parents say they will arm themselves as they take kids out for Halloween. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop spoke with parents about whether they're changing the way they typically participate in the Halloween holiday.
It's an annual tradition, trick-or-treating. Some parents say they will skip it this year, where others say they will not let people ruin their children's fun.
We were going to, but we're not going to anymore.
New mom Kimberly Ringdahl was going to dress up her little one and take her out, but she says she's not a fan of clowns.
Just because I don't feel like it's safe. I mean, I understand people want to dress up like clowns, you know, for Halloween, but I don't know which ones are with the whole not safe clowns, I guess.
I know some people are concerned about it. They're a little worried about it, but I'm going to keep a very close eye on my girls, and I just don't see the point in depriving them the fun of the trick-or-treating tradition because of some silly people.
Other parents say they will accompany their little princesses and princes and don't want them to miss out.
To me, it seems like the most of it is just kids clowning around and thinking it's funny.
While there is no official start or finish time for trick-or-treating, local police departments remind people to be cautious when driving in the communities and also to wear appropriate clothing if you're going out and about. In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Local police departments say they are not planning any special patrols or extra staff because of the recent clown incidents. Take a look at this picture behind me. NDSU police are investigating what they're calling a random act of vandalism after finding this Army ROTC statue knocked over on campus. Here's a closer look. NDSU police say an officer found the memorial knocked over just outside the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse yesterday morning. It's believed that someone pushed it over between midnight and 8 in the morning. If you know anything about the vandalization, you're asked to call NDSU Police at 231-8998. That number is right there on your screen. Not too spooky out there this evening. Let's find out what the trick-or-treaters can expect this evening when they're out and about. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. It really depends on what part of the valley that you live in. We have widely variable temperatures and conditions across the valley right now, but in the Fargo area, all the ghosts and goblins through the 5 o'clock hour can expect temperatures to continue in those mid to upper 60s with the breezy conditions lasting until dark. Now, after dark, we'll see things cool off, but rather slowly. Take a look across the region. We have showers skirting the international border along Highway 2 and points north. Later this evening, we'll have a chance of some of those sprinkles moving through. Take a look at the variable temperatures. We're in the low 40s in Devil's Lake right now. Windy pretty much everywhere. Temperatures are in the 60-degree range to 70-degree range for those along and south of Interstate 94, although Jamestown has seen their temperature fall from the 60s into the lower 50s right now. So really, it does depend on where you're at tonight. We'll spell it all out in your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a couple of moments, but it looks like we have more changes in store for the upcoming week.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Winter is almost here, but there is help available for many people around our viewing area who want to make sure their home is warm and energy efficient this year. It's the 40th anniversary of a popular government program that can keep you or someone you know warm this winter. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us the Weatherization Assistance Program at work.
Local, state, and national coordinators of WAP, the Weatherization Assistance Program, gathered in Grand Forks today to look at the program in action. Here at Deb Holly's house, they're adding insulation to the basement walls and sealing windows around the home.
Yeah, it's an old house. It was built in 1915 and it is kind of drafty.
Okay, all right. It supposedly should cut the heating costs a little bit.
Yes,
too?
that's the hope, yeah.
The program is for folks who meet income guidelines. Whether you're a homeowner or renter, it can make your home a lot warmer this winter while reducing your heating costs.
Officials say this weatherization project will save the average homeowner $240 a year in energy costs, plus over $500 a year in medical expenses.
You will have fewer sick days off work, fewer hospital visits, less health problems generally. You know, kids, we've got an asthma problem in this country. When you weatherize a house, you eliminate a lot of the asthma triggers.
Those on a fixed income, it's a pretty good deal.
Yes, absolutely. And those are priorities. Elderly, disabled, people with small children are prioritized, so that's who we try to serve first.
The WAP program has helped over 7 million homeowners here in the Valley and across the country over the last 40 years. In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
You can find out more about all this by contacting the Community Action Program in your region. North Dakota residents can call 1-800-726-7960 and Minnesota residents 651-645-7425. Those numbers are right there on your screen. A Fargo teenager will spend more than the next decade behind bars after a judge sentenced him for trying to kidnap a woman outside West Acres Mall. A jury found Abdiram Sahel guilty back in September. His guilty counts include robbery, terrorizing, simple assault, and criminal contempt, 3 of which are felonies. Sahel was just 15 years old at the time of the attack, but his case was moved to adult court. The victim was walking to her car when the jury concluded Sahel attacked the woman with a gun on the west side of the mall. He was sentenced to 12 years in jail and given credit for about 2 years that he's already served. Jesse Olson was sentenced today to 20 years in prison after being charged in the beating death of a Fargo man last year. He's charged with criminal conspiracy and being an accomplice in the death of Joey Garsland. Garsland died after a fight outside of Rick's Bar in May of 2015. 2 others in the case are awaiting their sentences. Crookston police are investigating a weekend assault at this downtown bar. Police responded to a report of an assault in Crooks Club yesterday morning. Police say the victim, Joshua Schill, was semi-conscious when they arrived. He was taken to Riverview Hospital, was treated and released. Witnesses told police that several males were responsible for assaulting Schill, but fled before police arrived on the scene. If you have any information regarding this incident, you're asked to contact Crookston Police at 218-281-3030. 3111. Have you noticed many of your Facebook friends checking in to the Standing Rock protest site? Well, believe it or not, they may not actually be there. A Facebook group says the Morton County Sheriff's Department is using the social media site to find out who may be joining in the protest. Pipeline activists are urging everyone to check in at Standing Rock in hopes of throwing off and confusing police. This latest development follows a tense standoff on Thursday between the protesters and law enforcement, leading to the arrest of more than 140 people. The activists say they are not dissuaded and are instead preparing for a prolonged event through the winter. On Election Day, all MATBus routes to and from general election voting precincts and anywhere MATBus travels will be free. Early voting precincts within the MATBus transportation area are at the Baymont Inn and Suites off of 13th Avenue, Cambria Suites Inn off of 17th Avenue, and the Fargo Dome. For more information, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Tens of millions of Americans have already cast their ballots nationwide, with more than 50,000 North Dakotans already making their pick for president. Voters packed the Baymont Inn and Suites in Fargo today, the first day for early voting. Some voters even turned around and left because of the long lines. This is just one of 4 polling locations that opened up. Others include the Fargo Dome, a location in West Fargo, and another in Castleton. The Secretary of State's office reports over 4,000 ballots have already been turned in by Cass County voters alone. And we have linked to more information on where you can cast your ballot on our website. Just visit this story at valleynewslive.com. We're coming up on a special anniversary. 30 years ago in December, a 5-month-old boy in California received a heart transplant that saved his life. The heart came from a little boy here in Fargo. Tonight, Valley News Team's Mike Morkin looks back at the amazing life-saving effort that continues to pay dividends today. And he's here with a preview. Mike?
This past summer marked the 30th birthday for Andrew de la Pena. He's lived quite a life since successfully receiving the heart, but it wasn't a sure thing that he'd get it on time. The Lear jet that was supposed to quickly take the heart from Fargo to California wouldn't start on that fateful day in December. A local doctor called Governor George Sinner, who then called the North Dakota Air National Guard. At that time, as part of their mission, they had an F-4 jet on call 24/7. My story details what happened. You'll hear from former Governor Sinner and the pilot on that life-saving mission, now Brigadier General Bob Becklund. I'll also visit with Andrew, who's certainly making the most of life. Find out about his approach every day. As Governor Sinner put it, he's doing the things you'd hope he'd be doing, and that's pretty good reward. Mike Morkin, Valley News Live.
All right, look for Mike's story tonight on Valley News Live at 9 on the CW and Valley News Live 10 at 10. Halloween isn't all about the candy. Tonight, 2,000 books are being given to kids. United Way of Cass Clay is giving free books to trick-or-treaters who stop by West Acres Mall for the Bootyful night. There will also be balloon animals, family photos, and trick-or-treating in the mall. United Way says it's important for all kids to have books.
Books are so important for kids in this community. You know, 90% of a child's brain is developed before age 5, so it's really important that kids have books in their hands before that critical milestone in their life.
The event runs from 5:30 to 7:30 at West Acres. When your little ghosts and goblins go to bed tonight, will you be guilty of rummaging through and eating their candy? Hear what a survey says about that. Still ahead tonight.
Temperatures in the north are a little on the spooky side with a chance of showers along and north of Highway 2 while we stay mild. A little bit of a wild wind here in the south. I'll have details to your hour-by-hour forecast coming up right after this.